Hello and welcome to the Online Darts Live League. I am Paul the Asset Nicholson, bringing you the Thursday night action from Group B of Week 3 of Phase 2 here at the Online Darts Live League. We have 5 players for your darting entertainment this evening. There will be 10 matches in total, 4 for each player. Each match will be best of 7 legs. We already have one person into Saturday night's finals in the shape of Niall Cullerton of Ireland, bagging 22 points in Group A throughout the course of Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. One of the people who was also on 22 points through that group, Jamie Clark, he lost out at the top of Group A by leg difference, so he has to play in this group tonight and tomorrow. 4 other players will try and take a final spot away from him, but in this 5-person group, 3 players will progress to Saturday night's finals. So over the next 2 nights on the Online Darts YouTube channel and live in the United Kingdom on Sporty Stuff TV, we will find out who will bag one of 3 spots from this group going into Saturday night's finals. At which point on Saturday night, the top half of the 6 players in the finals will progress to Champions Week in Week 5, where 6 players are already waiting for their prospective opponents. The likes of Lee Cocks, Jamie Clark and Mike Warburton will be on the Oki this evening, as well as, of course, the Queen of the Palace, Fallon Sherrock, who maybe does headline tonight, but I think the other guys, along with Paul Hogan, they will be looking to spoil her party this evening. As to who the favourites are for getting through this group, don't underestimate Lee Cocks, the guy in your shot there with the very good slicked back hair. But this man, Paul Hogan, dubbed the professional amateur because of some of the things that he has done in his career as an amateur. We could be looking at a very good and tasty first match of the evening. Like I said, all games best of 7 legs. Paul Hogan will have the darts. No bull off to see who goes first. They have equal opportunities in their games over the next couple of days. So no bull off, just an equal amount of games where they will throw first. But the name of the game is get points, get wins, and be in the top 3 at the end of tomorrow night's session.
Okay, first leg, it's Paul to throw first.
So here we go. Crocodile Dundee for Paul Hogan. Of course, he gets that nickname. If you haven't watched Paul play before, what nickname was he going to have called Paul Hogan?
140.
They weren't going to call him Donk, that's for sure. One of Crocodile Dundee's mates. But he is a vastly experienced individual. From the Royal County of Berkshire. And he's been playing at a top level for more than a quarter of a century.
140.
And for me, Paul Hogan is the favourite tonight. Now, all of these players have Online Darts Live League experience. And they've played different amounts of games throughout Phase 1 and Phase 2.
83.
For these two, it's their first dip into the water of Phase 2, their first experience of trying to get into Champions Week.
85.
And as for what they did in Phase 1, we'll have a little look at that in the next leg, because this has been a very fine start for Paul Hogan. Well, that was a bit curious.
98.
Didn't go for the treble 18 for double 12. If he'd hit the 60, he would have had double 9. Lee's not even on a finish.
$58.
Tops after 12. A very, very strong start here from Paul.
Game shot on the first
very tidy.
Paul Hogan.
And on a Thursday night, a traditional Super League night for a lot of counties here in the United Kingdom. Playing at this time of night means that you must be playing really well. But Paul Hogan has started with a 14 darter. Average over 100 already.
Game on.
Maybe an early sign to Lee Cocks as to how he will have to play it
60.
if he wants to get more wins than losses this evening. There is, of course, the possibility for you to get 2 wins and 2 draws.
100.
And if you do get 4 points, going into Friday night session where there will be another 4 games for you, it's not the worst position.
100.
But to have the destiny of this group in your own hands, just win every game. Bag yourself 16 points, and you'll be fine. You will play again on Saturday.
60.
Well, Lee has played 20 games
85.
in the 2021 Online Darts Live League. He has won. So he's played 12, won 8, and lost 4. That's a really good win percentage.
59.
67% of the games he plays, he wins. Of everybody tonight, that is the second best win percentage.
125.
A running average of around 82, so 85, 82, which is very, very competent. But that maximum from Paul Hogan changes this leg a little bit.
131.
Now he's got 71. Double 16.
99.
And that could be a costly miss.
We require
A very fine try for that 131 checkout, though. Double top. Hogan looking very, very deadly early on Thursday evening. 2-0 up, and he has not had a leg over 15 darts yet. If he maintains this tonight, he could be unstoppable. Really good.
Third leg, it's Paul to throw first. Game on.
That expression of Lee in the background tells a very, very readable story. One of, is that the only chance I'm going to get? Shots like 131. Is that what you're going to force me to do?
60.
Well, I think the previous games this year in this building for Paul Hogan are slightly misleading. He has a win percentage of 50%.
100.
Played 20, won 10. He's better than that. But a running average which is somewhat similar to Lee, around the 86 mark.
180.
I thought this game would be really tight. And it may still be.
100.
One mistake from Lee here. And Hogan's in again. He's putting so much pressure on every throw
26.
from the man from Crawley.
$100.
I really don't know how that last start went in. But he's left himself a checkout that we saw earlier today from Paul Holloway, where he went 18s first. And I proceeded to explain why you shouldn't go 18s first. That was a very unfortunate bounce out there for Lee Cocks. It has cost him
180.
the leave of a finish. Double 19.
99.
Somewhat very aggressive try when Lee is not on a finish. He could have easily hit a 6 and left 3 darts at 32, but he wanted to get rid of that in 15 again.
Require 19.
Double 8.
Game show on the third
Just
leg.
is not missing. This is a ruthless display from Paul Hogan. And if he starts with a 4-0 victory, everybody in the practice room, including Lee Cocks, will take notice. 3-0 up he is.
Fourth leg, it's Lee to throw first. Game on. $140.
It's not that Lee has played poorly. He's got an 86 average, which is very similar to what he's done before here. He's had 1 shot at a double.
140.
But Hogan's averaging 100. And his personal best average in an online Darts Live League match
140.
is 100.2. That is under threat. Got to give full props to Lee Cocks, though.
41.
He's just continued to plod on, play his own game. And he's going to hope that Paul Hogan starts to falter.
140.
That 3 140s to leave 81 after 9. A world-class leg from him.
77.
Somebody get Paul Hogan a new flight. I think that one might
81.
be ruined. Double 16.
49.
And the quality just keeps coming. That could have been a 12-darter.
$59. Lee requires 32.
A somewhat needed reprieve here for Lee Cocks.
Game shot.
And a
number
13-darter from him
Lee
gives him a
Cocks.
foothold and his first leg of the night. That's what he needed just to get a leg away from Paul Hogan. But now he has to do that 3 more times if he is to get the 2 points.
Fifth leg, it's Paul to throw first. Game on.
Problem is, if he is to do that, he's going to have to break Paul twice.
62.
Even when he's having a bad visit, he's picking up a big treble.
$100.
Had a little chat with Lee Cocks earlier this afternoon after the conclusion of the Group C action this afternoon. He reminded me that we met for the first time at an exhibition back in London, where I also met Diogo Portela for the first time, the Brazilian dart player who graced the Live League a couple of weeks ago.
55.
He's definitely going for the Gordon Gecko look, isn't he, with the slick back hair.
97.
I think it's a very good look for 2021. Last thing you want is a fringe to get in the way when you're
60.
throwing darts in front of your eyes. Neither player having that problem.
$100.
There's been a bit of darts action with the England football team this week. They've been playing darts against the press at their training facility. I do believe the likes of Gareth Southgate and Jack Grealish have been having lots of fun. Well, Paul Hogan's having more fun in this game than Lee is. And he's only 42 away from a win. The average has come down,
100.
but that does not detract
We
away
require 42.
from the quality of this performance. Double 16. Exceptionally
shot
good
on the match.
on the outer
Paul
ring.
Hogan.
And Paul Hogan is too strong for Lee Cocks in match 1. If that's the standard we're going to see tonight, you're in for a real treat. Because as you can see, Lee Cocks did not play poorly. 91.89 and 1/3 of his doubles is very, very good indeed. But when you look at the Hogan stats, they are much better everywhere you look. Fallon Sherrock, the Queen of the Palace, does return to Phase 2 action. She takes on Jamie Clark, who came up second, of course, in Group A. I beg your pardon, but that's coming up after the break. Welcome back, and game number 2 will commence next with Jamie Clark of Scotland about to take on Fallon Sherrock. Her assault for the end of the week title, it begins here as she takes on the second place player from Group A who lost out on a place in the finals to Niall Cullerton of Ireland on leg difference. Bit of a change of shirt tonight for Jamie Clark. He was talking a little bit earlier as to how loose-fitting his normal dart shirt is, and he just felt like he needed a change. It is a very, very hot night here at the Online Darts Live League. And the 24-year-old from Fife using Gary Anderson darts. As you can see, his career best qualifying for the UK Open.
Okay, first leg.
I'm sure that won't be the only UK Open he graces. Well, this is a big match for him. The 22 points that he found in Group A have now been scrapped.
90.
He now has to do it from the start again. But at times, Jamie Clark was playing some excellent stuff this week.
140.
11 wins and 4 losses. That
41.
is a very, very tidy effort for 3 days' work. But unfortunately for him, it wasn't quite enough. A running average of 82.17, a best of 89.88, and around about 1 in 3 of his doubles hit. He just came up 1 match short.
83.
But the nature of this sport is if you don't get across the line, you have to go backwards.
96.
He's up against Fallon, who has a lot of Online Darts Live League experience. Of all of the players tonight, she has played the most games.
59.
She's actually played 82 matches this year.
88.
That's 34 matches more than her next most experienced player, and that is Jamie Clark. She's in there for her first maximum.
180. Jamie require 136.
But she might lose the leg. That big finish
96.
was required for that to be the case.
48.
Double 16. Oh, now double 12.
$36.
I think that one was a bit of a puzzler
Jamie
for the Queen of the Palace.
40.
And Jamie Clark has been given a bit of a free hit here, and this is for a break of throw.
Game shot in the first leg.
Very, very
Jamie
well practiced this week. I mentioned the amount of games that he's played. I think the slight change of time frame, because he's been playing in the morning throughout the earlier part of the week, I think tonight might suit him.
Second leg, it's Jamie to throw first. Game on.
Unlike his pals Greg Ritchie and Darren Beveridge, who played again today during the day.
100.
They say a change is as good as a rest. He might feel a lot more refreshed playing later in the day.
41.
So with that break in the bank now, he has become favourite for this match. But Sherrock,
91.
82 matches played, 29 wins for a win percentage of 35%. High average of 99.56. There you have another 180 for her. If you've got her for most 180s in this match, you're sitting pretty for now. If you are choosing to have a little flutter on something tonight,
100.
please do so responsibly for 18 years of age and over only. And begambleaware.org for more information.
41.
She has had the 2 180s, but unfortunately the scores in between have not been as consistent.
60.
And that's why Jamie Clark won the first leg, and that's why he's in front in this leg.
58. Jamie require 150.
For a moment, I thought he was going to go 2 treble 19s.
58.
It hasn't worked out, but he will get another shot at that 92.
100.
If he doesn't
Jamie
find it,
require
Fallon
92.
should get one more shot at least to win the second leg. Double 16 now for Jamie
James
Clark.
on the second
And
leg.
that is a
Jamie
superb
Clark.
finish. Really, really sharp there from Jamie. He has shown some very, very high levels at times this week, but he is starting to show why he came second in Group A.
Third leg, it's Fallon to throw first. Game on.
If Jamie gets a hot start, like Paul Hogan,
100.
that will put immediate pressure on Mike Warburton, who is the last player to take their first bow tonight.
93.
He's got the late shift. He starts in match 3, and he will finish his campaign in match 10. Fallon has got the early shift. She will finish her campaign in match 8 against Warburton. She has hit the most 180s
100.
in this tournament, but then again, she has had the most matches. She's hit 62 180s before this match, so she's rounded that up to 64 already.
121.
Her running average is just a shade over 80.
98.
And she's doing something about that in this match. It's around 87, the average for Fallon.
99.
Squares up the score really nicely, but you get the feeling that she needs to find a nice clean kill here. 20 tops, walk away, 2-1 down, then mount an assault in leg 4.
You require 60.
Sounds easy, doesn't it? That's a good single in the end. I think Jamie Clark sees the funny side of that.
40.
I don't think Fallon will see the funny side of things if Jamie finds this.
13.
This could be under threat. Treble 18.
62. Fallon, you require 20.
3 shots at double in this match and hasn't hit one yet.
Game shot.
But that has changed.
Fallon
She
Sherrock.
has had a couple of 180s in this match, but you have to say that is the best dart she has thrown. It looked pure, it hit the board really solidly, and it gives her her first leg win of the evening.
Fourth leg, it's Jamie to throw first. Game on.
Fallon, of course, stealing the
100.
headlines over the last couple of years in the ladies' game with the likes of Lisa Ashton. But we have had Corinne Hammond from Australia playing in the Online Darts
60.
Live League this year. She's had a few wins. And over the next couple of nights, we will have more action from this group and, of course, Saturday
41.
night, where we won't just have the finals, we will have the unveiling of next week's players.
58.
And if you haven't been tuning in this week, 1, where have you been? 2, just wait to see what we've got in store for you next week.
80.
I know a couple of the players for next week, and I can guarantee you they are absolutely brilliant. Real personalities.
43.
The 6 players already through to Champions Week. Martin Adams, Chaz Barstow, Scott Marsh.
100.
They came through in week 1. Colin Osborne won week 2. And will be joined by Joe Davis and Jared Cole. Fallon's in for a third maximum.
180.
Looks like she's going to lock up that statistic. Unless Jamie Clark starts pounding that 60 the same way.
140.
Gives that the
Fallon,
old
you require 160.
single 20 jerk there. It's almost like you wanted a bit of extra pointage on the dismount.
60. Jamie, you require 40.
Double top for a 3-1 lead.
Game shown the fourth
Just
leg.
very, very
Jamie
tidy.
Clark.
It's not a massive average, but it's just really consistent. Around that 17 dart range, which is very, very good, but 3-1 up and looking very comfortable.
Fifth leg, it's Fallon to throw first. Game on.
The average is at 91.1 now.
59.
The best stat right now for Jamie is the doubling. 3 hits from 4 attempts.
140.
That's very reminiscent to what we saw from Paul Hogan in the first match.
100.
Jamie Clark will play Paul Hogan in his last match of the night.
100.
If they maintain their form, that could be the match of the night. You won't have to wait long to see Paul Hogan once again, because he's next as he takes on Warby
96.
from Wales. But if Jamie Clark finds this leg, he will draw level at this early stage with Paul Hogan on 2 points and a leg difference of +3. It's a very truncated format in this group. Only 8 games per player.
Jamie require 142.
So if you lose one game, it's magnified. 18's first on 142. That's a bit different.
56.
Seen a few different finishes over the course of the last few weeks. Nothing better than Jamie Clark's pal,
100.
Greg Ritchie, who
Jamie
today,
require
on
86.
Portugal Day, hit 3 double tops like Jose de Souza. Is Jamie Clark going to hit the bull to win the match?
Game
Yes,
shot
he
of the
is.
match.
A beautiful
Jamie
shot.
Clark.
And the doubling performance from Jamie Clark in that match is a thing of beauty. Well, a doubles clinic from Hogan to start, but then we get something better from Jamie Clark. Yeah, look at that. 80%, 92 average, nothing but quality this evening. And Mike Warburton, coming into the next game to play Hogan, is going to have to perform if he is going to find his way to the top 3, you feel. That's coming up after the break. Welcome back, and it's game number 3 just about to begin here on Thursday evening at the Online Darts Live League. Paul Hogan with a very impressive start. That's been followed by a very impressive start by Jamie Clark in getting a 4-1 victory over Fallon Sherrock. But this is the first time we get to see Mike Warburton, the 36-year-old from North Wales, who came through Group A in 3rd position. That's why he is playing tonight. But the first look at Paul Hogan this evening was very, very impressive. A 92 average, 67% on his outer ring shots, and a high check out of 102. He continues that kind of form. He may cause problems for one of Wales's best players. And let's face it, 2021 is all about Welsh darts. And most of 2020 was the same.
Hey, first leg, it's Mike to throw first. Game on.
Gerwyn Price, world champion, world number 1. But right now, Mike Warburton, who is starting this match, he's got a lot on his mind. It's been a very rough 24 hours for Mike. Unfortunately, he
60.
lost his very close friend, Ricky Mayers, overnight. And that's why he has got Ricky's initials on his left pocket. He is, without a doubt, playing for his friend this evening. Everybody here at the Online Darts Live League would like to send their condolences and their thoughts to the family of Ricky and to his friends around the UK. Really, really sad news of his passing.
$140.
Hogan is definitely going to cause problems, not just for the players in this group, but maybe the finalists on Saturday as well.
180.
It didn't take long for Mike to get in the maximum column. Just 3 visits. And I get the feeling he is going to need some. Hogan looks fresh. He looks sharp.
60.
And he looks hungry. He's always been the kind of player that doesn't show a great deal of emotion unless absolutely
100.
necessary. But it seems like every time he plays a leg tonight, he's in a threatening position.
41.
We started against the darts here
require 80.
with a very, very strong leg. Up to the big 20. Up to the tops.
45.
A little bit further up, Paul, and a bit more to the right.
Require 147.
That was probably the worst dart he has thrown tonight. In fact, there's no probably about it.
57.
If you are given another visit to fix the shot, take care of business. That's just in the 3.
Game shot on the first.
But the outer ring is at his mercy tonight. Whenever he gets a shot at a double, he might miss the odd shot, but in the visit, he is taking care of business, and that's an early break for him.
Second leg, it's Paul to throw first. Game on.
As for Mike's week in Group A, a very, very respectable performance.
100.
A running average of 86.35, which was the best running average of any player in the group.
100.
13 maximums in the first 3 days of the week. 5 ton plus checkouts, a best of 123. 9 wins and 6 defeats.
140.
And of everybody playing this evening and their entire Online Darts Live League experience,
100.
Mike Warburton has the best win percentage of any player, currently at 71%. 24 wins from 34 matches.
100.
A lot of that is due to the fact that when he played in Phase 1 in a Group A scenario, he won 13 of 15 matches that week. A quite extraordinary performance.
All you require 161.
But he's in lots of trouble here. Paul Hogan is not showing any mercy.
59.
Downstairs.
177.
Beautiful. A really good anvil weighted bit of pressure on this 102 checkout. And he misses the treble 14 to have the chance. So Mike Warburton has the possible 13 darter.
54.
To say to Hogan, I'm going to be hard to get rid of tonight.
Game shot on the second
Beautiful leg from Mike.
Mike Warburton.
13 darts it takes, and that 201 points in 4 darts is a signal of intent from this man from Wrexham. I wonder if he knows Ryan Reynolds, the owner of Wrexham Football Club.
Game on.
I'm sure he doesn't.
$140.
But the man who has won the Welsh Open before knows what it takes to win very, very long tournaments, like the last ranked tournament in amateur darts that was played live in 2020 in the Isle of Man. He won that against Martin Adams.
60.
I suppose you would say, after playing
83.
Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, his arm should be very used to playing darts this week. So he should be sharp. And after getting plenty of wins the first 3 days of the week, he should be prepped for the kind of challenge that Paul Hogan is going to bring tonight. But he's playing at the same level that he was in the first match against Lee Cocks. Mike is holding on to him with his fingernails.
100.
Throughout this week, Mike has said that there's been nothing wrong with his doubling. I have to agree. He's had a checkered percentage of around 38%, which is very healthy.
Mike
but his scoring has had a little bit of inconsistency about it. And he said if he could fix that, he really would be threatening
47.
The players with a bit more regularity.
143.
Now is Hogan going to get another chance after missing this 143? Should be treble 13.
125.
I think he's miscounted.
Mike, you require 94.
Not an isolated incident, unfortunately, from Paul. Well, there's the 4. There's 54 more. That leaves 36.
Game
and that leaves absolutely nothing.
Mike
and that's
Warburton.
the name of the game. After going 1-0 down, he really has kicked from there. And that's a really nice fix from the slip dart on the first one. He has found his way to a 2-1 lead.
Like it's Paul to throw first. Game on.
It just so happens that that miscount from Paul Hogan didn't really mean anything.
85.
But Mike is proving my point. His running average up to that first start of the fourth leg, it was 86.51 in this match, which is
85.
0.16 better than his running average for the week. But his doubles, 2 from 2. So the scoring is consistent at that 86 level.
140.
But the doubles, that's what's getting him through some of these challenges. His out-of-ring shooting, particularly at double 18, it's been absolutely sensational.
96.
So for the first time tonight, a little bit of doubt
100.
about whether Paul Hogan can get 2 more points. He was never really in trouble against Lee Cocks because he got a very, very hot start. But Warburton seems to have slowed Hogan down a bit.
140.
And if Hogan makes 1 more error, Warby will be there here in leg 4.
100.
Let me take this opportunity to welcome everybody tuning in the UK on Sporty Stuff TV. You made a fine choice. Can't beat a bit of late Thursday night darting action.
40.
Welcome.
All you require.
I hope you can
76.
stay all the way through to match 10. Double 18 this time for Hoagie.
40. Mike, you require 140.
This week, Mike's best finish has been 123. He's not going to better that right here. His best finish overall this year has been 156. Maybe at one point, if he wants to win this week or get through to the finals, he's going to have to better that. Paul can't believe that didn't go in.
No score.
I can't believe he found the gap between the first start and the double 18 bed.
40.
He is very, very frustrated right now. Double 10.
20.
That golden chance to be 3-1 up,
36.
unfortunately, has come and gone.
Game
And double 18 is found at the 5th attempt in that 4th leg. He can count himself very, very fortunate indeed in that Mike Warburton had 3 darts and missed all 3. It could have been 3-1, but now with 2-2, it's anybody's game.
Throw first. Game on. $140.
Fallon Sherrock will return in match 4 against Lee Cocks, and both of them are searching for their first win this evening. One of them will get off the mark.
81.
What will be the scenario when that match begins? Will it be Hogan on 4 points, Clark on 2, and 3 players on 0 in the table? Or will it 2 for Hogan, 2 for Clark, and 2 for Warburton? And that would ensure, after 4 matches, that 4 players would be on 2 points, having a really tightly packed first night here in Group B. We will keep you up to date with that table whenever we possibly can.
60.
Just to give you an idea of who's making moves, where the leg difference is, because that's how we separate the players. If we can't separate them on points,
129.
we also look at things like legs won. By the end of the 2 days, possibly head-to-head record. And if we have to go even further into it because they're tied,
All you require
averages.
151.
That's the last chance saloon.
$60.
Now this is a chance
Mike,
for
you
Warburton.
require 141.
60, 57, 24. Sounds easy, doesn't it? You got the first trick. Should be looking at treble 10 here.
89.
And now Hogan has got to get the maths right.
81.
74. Remain with 2. 32 left for a 3-2 lead.
Game shot on the 5th leg.
What
Paul
an
Hogan.
excellent shot from Paul Hogan. Just when Mike Warburton is sitting in the background thinking, I'm going to get a shot here. Hoagie says absolutely not, and he converts 91 and 3 for a 3-2 lead.
6th leg, it's Paul to throw first. Game on.
That break of throw gives him this really good chance of winning 4-2.
85.
The man who has represented Berkshire and Hampshire at county level. He's represented his country and hit a 9-darter in an England shirt. He's played
60.
In some very big arenas against some amazing players like Gary Anderson and Butlins Minehead. He's played at Lakeside
140.
against Glen Durrant, where he should have beaten him in the second round. He had match darts to beat Glen a few years ago.
140.
And if he hit that shot, who's to say that Glen Durrant would have even won 1 world title, never mind 3?
180.
Well, that maximum, his first of this match, could be at the point of the match where he couldn't possibly hit another because the match might be over in the next 2 darts.
We require 96.
What a spirited finish this would be from Paul. Double 18 again.
Game
11
shot
darter.
of the match. Paul Hogan.
What a fantastic way to finish a brilliant contest between both players. The standard tonight really has been of a very, very high level. As you can see, Warburton, very respectable at 87, but 94, 84, and 40% on the checkouts for Paul Hogan. That's a continuation of what he was doing earlier. We're going to take a short break now, but Fallon Sherrock and Lee Cocks will return for match 4, and they'll be looking for their first 2 points when we come back. Welcome back, and thanks for your company tonight on Sporty Stuff TV and via the Online Darts YouTube channel. We're going into match number 4 now, and Fallon Sherrock and Lee Cocks will play their second match of the night. And they know something, because looking at the statistics for tonight, if you do not average over 92, you're not going to get any points. Because Paul Hogan has now averaged over 92 in both of his wins so far.
Game on.
And so did Jamie Clark in his first game against Fallon. So these two,
97.
as well as Mike Warburton after his first game, have yet to register a win. But someone here is guaranteed one.
96.
There's an impressive start from Lee Cocks, even though he only got one leg. He averaged 91.89 with a 180 in there. Hit 1 out of 3 doubles. He didn't play poorly, but Hogan, that wily veteran, just timed everything really, really well.
58.
This is my first genuine look at Lee Cocks and seeing what he can possibly do. So far, I've been very impressed.
43.
If you look at his technique, it's quite graceful. He holds that dart very, very lightly towards the end of the barrel.
30.
And the follow-through is quite dainty. There's not a full extension of the arm the way that Fallon does it. You see how that hand propels towards the board. Whereas Lee, he tends to just
60.
Place it through the air. And he does something called flowering the hand, as I call it. The fingers just pop out
60.
and he prods it through the air. It's very reminiscent of an old pal of mine from Australia called Steve Duke Sr., one of the genuine legends of the Australian game.
140. Lee require 156.
Looking for a decent leave now.
100.
That will
Fallon,
do.
you require 62.
But he has to wait to see if he will be back. Double top.
22.
And Fallon gives Lee a chance
Lee
to hold his throw.
56.
He takes an exhalation. Can he take the leg?
36.
Not yet, anyway.
Fallon, you require 40.
Back in for tops.
Game shot on the first
In
leg.
she goes for a first
Fallon
leg
Sherrock.
break of throw. Lots of experience. Like I mentioned in her last match, she's played over 80 games this year in this format. And she has a win percentage that isn't really close to 50%,
Second
but
leg,
she
it's
is
Fallon
threatening.
to throw first. Game on.
When she plays well, she can play extremely well.
140.
She has a high average of 99.56. She's also, out of all 5 players
99.
tonight, got the best finish of 164. The next best from Clark and Cox of 160.
90.
I mentioned my old pal of Steve Duke Sr. in the last leg. I have to take this opportunity to say that learning of the passing of Terry O'Day last week, the legendary Australian player, was devastating. One of the genuine legends of the oceanic
100.
darting scene back in the 80s up until the present day, and he is someone we will definitely miss. A real character.
180.
That 180 was for you, Terry.
$97.
Fallon Sherrock is making a very, very handy move here in this 4th match of the night.
100. Fallon, you require 74.
Treble 14. Going back to tops. And it's not in the way, that single.
54.
But doesn't elevate that shot enough.
Lee, you require 82.
And Lee's been warned. If he doesn't hit this, he could be in bother.
Yes.
He's fortunate that he's got a 14 there, because now he's got 18 bull.
57.
The second shot at the bullseye
Fallon, you require 20.
was closer, but not close enough. Double 5.
Game shot on the
That's
second
very,
leg.
very tidy. Those
Fallon
tapered points in that tapered dart just made that look a little bit better in some way. But it's 2-0 to Sherrock, and she's not one to squander leads. She can front run very, very well.
Throw first. Game on.
She's maintaining her standard from earlier.
100.
An average of 83.5, which is very, very similar to what she did against Jamie Clark. But this is a better performance
140.
because she's giving herself more chances at doubles. It's not that Lee hasn't had his opportunities.
58.
He's had 3 chances at double and he hasn't hit one.
$59.
Watch out for Fallon going for the 18s when she returns on 3 or 2.
98.
Lee using a set of barrels that look very similar to the old equipment used by Dave Chisnell. 60 needed.
92.
That would have left 170, but she's still in a favourable position if Lee makes a mistake here.
$100.
Not a mistake there. That gets him to a finish first. This could be a very tight match.
140.
If Lee can find this shot,
145.
and he may have to.
$105.
If you're not going to get the 145,
70.
that is plan B. Lee is hoping that Fallon doesn't hit this.
62.
She was very aggressive on that treble 12 double
Lee
8.
require 40.
A lot of people would have just gone for the fat 12 for tops. It is tops that Lee requires.
Game shot on the
And a
third
lovely
leg.
little ricochet
Lee
off that
Cocks.
guide. You saw the way that it bounced off the barrel and it just about stayed in there. It's a good job he's got those little grooves on the ends of the points because that's what kept it in there. 2-1 now.
Fourth leg, it's Fallon to throw first. Game on.
Big, big chance missed to be 3-0 up.
90.
In this group, there is only 8 games per player, as opposed to 10 in Group C. The urgency with every
41.
game is really magnified. So when the opportunity presents itself to potentially win 4-1 or 4-0, you have to take it.
180.
And that is an equalising 180. Lee got the first. She gets the second. Does he get the third?
123.
Well, this evening we do have some esteemed company watching on Sporty Stuff TV. Last year, one of the best
100.
players in the Live League, who is now on the Pro Tour, Dave Evans, has joined us. Dave, good evening. Enjoy the action. I hope you have a really successful Super Series
45.
next week in Milton Keynes. Fallon Sherrock's home, of course.
131.
She is from the home of the Dons.
57.
She's got plenty of time to take care of leg number 4. She has outscored Lee very, very well here.
60. Fallon, you require 74.
Gets the 42. Double 16.
Game shot on the
That
fourth
is
leg.
a lot
Fallon
sharper
Sherrock.
than what we've seen from her a little bit earlier. She's taken her time on some double shots. She wasn't given many chances in her first game, but she's getting more chances here, and she's sharpening up when she gets the chances. A 14
Leg is
darter
Lee to throw
for a
first.
3-1 lead.
Game on.
And for the first time, her average goes above 91.
100.
That blueprint of how to win matches this Thursday evening, it seems to be working. Average 92 plus and you'll be safe.
45. $140.
Lee's got the look of someone who could easily star in The Only Way is Essex or Made in Chelsea.
96.
He's got the tan, he's got the hair, he's got the build, he's got the tats.
100.
He's got talent as well. Good dart player. I'm impressed. But so far tonight, it hasn't gone his way so far. He's going to have to find a 3-leg blitz if he wants to get 2 points from 2 games.
58.
Now this leg isn't over. If Fallon can find something sizable here, and she is going to do so, watch out.
140.
There was some extra Cholula on those eggs right there. Gave that last dart a real bit of hammering. Double 16.
71.
And Lee misses that to save the match. And Sherrock has got 1, 2, 3. Is it as easy as ABC for 2 points? No, it isn't.
51. Lee require 32.
He's dodged the ton plus check out, and now he's got to find a 9.
Yes,
Double 8.
Game shot on the 5th
that's a good save.
Lee Cocks.
Very much like Jordan Pickford or any goalkeeper that you might spring to mind, but that one saves the match, and it was a really good save considering he had 3 at 32 and eventually only had 1 at double 8. But match is still going at 3-2.
Game on.
For some reason, the goalkeeper that sprung to mind
99
was Chris Woods. Remember him? He was the number 2 to Peter Shilton. Something like 30 years ago.
100.
I was talking to one of our backroom staff a little bit earlier this evening about sport in the 1980s and rivalries
100.
back then between the likes of Borg and McEnroe, Hagler and Hearns. It hasn't really been
45.
a definitive rivalry in the Online Darts Live League this year, but there have been a lot of meetings between Darren Beveridge and Greg Ritchie. They've played
56.
10 times now, I believe. I think that's the biggest head-to-head record we've seen. Well, every player wants to get
60.
a win against Fallon because she's a genuine darting celebrity. It's looking likely that Lee might not get the win.
100.
And she gets to the finish first here. He's already dodged 1 match dart.
100.
And it looks like he might have to dodge some more.
60.
That's good news for Lee, because when Fallon comes back, she might only get 1 shot at the bullseye. If he can pressurize that position, well, the best he can do is 70 points to get to 126. He's got to stay on the 60 here because of what he could possibly leave.
26.
Well, he's left himself on the 170. And she's going to go for the bull.
61.
And that's a second match start miss. That did not miss by much.
70.
Not able to find the biggest numbered finish of all.
84.
And Fallon should get match starts number 4 and 3 if she needs them. Oh, it's too many.
Score.
And she only gets the 3.
Lee require 86.
Lee Cocks is surviving in this game. Can he hit the bull on an 86 checkout?
61.
No, he can't.
Fallon, you require
Somewhat
25.
dramatic end, potentially. 3 double 11.
Game shot and the match. Fallon Sherrock.
That one leaves me a little bit speechless. I don't know if that was intentional, but the way that she planted that single 3 right in the middle, I have to think that maybe that was the intent. Well, it didn't need a 92 average, but an 85 and 40% on checkouts once again for the second match in a row. It's good enough, Fallon, to get her first 2 points of the night. So we're going to take a short break now, and when we return, it will be Jamie Clark taking on Wales's Mike Warburton. So stay with us, and we'll be back shortly. Action here in week 3 of the Online Darts Live League will continue now with the two players who graduated from Group A in positions 2 and 3. So this will be their 4th match of the week. Again, best of 7. So who is going to win this one to bolster their position in Group B? Let's see what Jamie Clark and Mike Warburton can do this evening. But of their 3 matches this week so far, Warby won the first one 4-0, 4-3 with a second win on Tuesday, but then things were reversed yesterday where Jamie Clark won by 4-2. We do have to say that Jamie Clark is on a bit of a winning run, because not only did he win his first game of tonight against Fallon Sherrock with a impressive 92 average and 80% on doubles.
134.
But at times this week, he's looked very, very confident. He won all 5 of his games yesterday.
96.
And for the 3rd day in succession, we saw someone have a perfect day in Group A. We
100.
didn't get that in Group C today. We did get 8 points from Conan Whitehead, who will go into tomorrow in Group C as the league leader. Only 2 will come through that group.
140.
There will be 3 from this one. Now,
49.
when these two met on Tuesday, they had a very, very impressive match. Won by Warby by 4 legs to 3. And the reason I reference that match
41.
is because that is the last time that Jamie was defeated this week. His win streak is now 8.
58.
The biggest win streak of anybody in the 2021 Online Darts Live League is 13. I'm pretty sure he won't know that.
60.
But if he gets to that point,
Jamie
he's going to be very
Maguire,
safe in this group.
60.
He does make his way to a
Mike
2-darter.
164.
Mike will look to get a personal best finish here for the year.
$94.
Not able to do
Jamie
so.
require 100.
So they're both in 2-dart range. Jamie, who has the darts, is looking for tops.
90.
Misses by the finest margin on double 10.
Mike requires 70.
So Mike gets a little shout here for an 18-dart break at double top.
30.
He misses his chance.
Jamie require 10.
This is where you've got to be careful. Either you make the choice to go 2-4, or if you are going to go for double 5, the top wire is your friend. That isn't. Now it gets a little bit scratchy downstairs.
6.
Just a difficult route around the board when you split it with your
Mike
first dart.
require 40.
And Warburton gets a second crack at tops. He's on double 10.
30.
And he misses double 10 as well.
Jamie require 4.
Are they feeling how important this game could be?
Game shot in the
Jamie
first
Clark
leg.
does eventually
Jamie
get
Clark.
it in 22 darts, and he will breathe a very long and languid sigh of relief when he gets to the back of the room, because the plan was to get the hold. He's got it,
Second leg, it's
but only
Mike to
just.
throw first. Game on. $180.
Oh, just waiting for him to retrieve that dart. I think the end of the point was tickling one little breadth of Seisel.
58.
One little flick of that flight, and that was falling on the floor. But it was a 180. And it was his first of the contest.
24.
Don't you just love Warby's dart shirt? It's like his own personal word search.
100.
If you can't zoom in and see what's on his shirt, it just says Warby all over it. And if you can't read that, just read the back, because it's magnified.
60.
There you go. Warby, 1 down. And it's also 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 across. It's all 5 letters.
59.
The shirt that he wore on Tuesday was a different colour. It was a statement shirt. This one is a bit more understated. Oh, that was a puzzling dart.
21.
That really did clatter into that previous flight, and all of the momentum of that dart just seemed to die. But that's not the only dart that has behaved that way this evening, so he's going to have to watch out for that. There have been a few participants this week who have been changing little elements of their equipment. Group A winner Niall Culleton of Ireland was chopping and changing flights and stems at certain points and changing darts as well, but the same weight, just to try and keep the temperature of the dart to a premium. I had a chat with him a little bit earlier this afternoon about that. He didn't want the darts to get too hot. So there's a little insight for you. That is something I've heard about from the likes of Alan Norris and Stuart Kellett. The man who likes to put his darts in the fridge.
137.
True story.
Jamie requires 71.
Double 10 for a 2-0 lead.
$51.
He's going to have to dodge more misses.
Mike, you require
from Warburton.
38.
There were plenty in leg one. He's going to go straight for this. This is difficult.
Game shot on the
but
second
not
leg.
difficult enough.
Mike Warburton.
That was a very, very accurate shot, considering there's two of those red flights in his eye line, looking at the green segment at the bottom of the board. That really was a pinpoint shot from Warby.
Throw first. Game on.
But the chances have been there for Jamie
55
to be 2-0 up. He's trying to keep pace with Paul Hogan. He has not been troubled this evening. And he plays Fallon Sherrock in match 6 after this.
83.
I think it's fair to say that Warby is not happy with his performance so far. Neither are averaging well.
140.
I think they would both admit as well that the first leg has somewhat infected their confidence. The misses at double, the edgy nature of getting to the doubles.
100.
So this is going to be a bit scrappy.
$136.
Jamie Clark thought that one out really perfectly. If he wasn't going to get the 2 treble 19s, that was plan B.
58.
We haven't had a 170 checkout
Jamie
this week.
require 170.
The best we've had was from Jamie, a 160. That was on Tuesday.
134.
And that was the very last shot of his day on Tuesday. As far as legs are concerned,
140.
in an answer to
Jamie
a
require
scrappy start,
36.
this is a brilliant response. Double 9. Trying to angle it down the stem here.
27.
And it was the right idea.
Mike, you require 120.
But he has now missed doubles, plural, in every single leg. And he might be about to go 2-1 down.
100.
Warburton has had darts in every
Jamie
leg.
require 9.
He could genuinely be 3-0 up. Taking his time on this one.
Game
And it
shot
was the
on
right
third
thing
leg.
to do.
Jamie
When
Clark.
things aren't going according to plan all over the place, what you need to do is just breathe and take stock. That was a little bit of experience there from the 24-year-old. He's now 2-1 up.
First. Game on.
You don't have to be old to have experience.
96.
Like it said on the graphic at the start of this match, he has played at the UK Open before.
60.
That will have given him a taste of the big time, of which he will want more.
60.
I've had a nice tweet from Lee Seymour,
96.
one of our regular viewers, asking, what are my top 3 favourite clashes in terms of entertainment value in darts? Given the example of Gary Anderson versus Van Gerwen,
85.
or Wade versus Lewis, or Vandenberg versus De Souza in modern speak. It's a very good question. I enjoyed the 80s when it was Lowe versus Bristow. They were good days. I did enjoy Priestley versus Taylor back in the 90s. But more recently,
60.
it's difficult to choose. There's been so many great ones. I love the Anderson Van Gerwen games from a few years ago. They always delivered.
100.
But I suppose these days I look for the genuine rivalries between two people who might not like each other too much. I always used to like Max Hopp playing against William O'Connor. That was always a little bit spicy.
$120.
Well, that is a leave and a half. 2 bullseyes to leave 65.
60.
But it might be of no consequence. Double 10.
40.
So many misses at double in this match. Very
Jamie
uncharacteristic
65.
of Mike Warburton. He could have won this match already. That's 3 bulls in a row for Jamie Clark. And the 2 bulls gave him the chance at the 65.
50.
And he hasn't been able to convert it. One of those bullseyes really hurt him.
Mike, you require 20.
Now, does this best of 7 match go to 2-2? It should.
Game
And
shot
it does.
flag.
And judging
Mike
by
Warburton.
the angle of that dart, that went through the 2 darts, over the posts, and into the red bit. So we are locked at 2-2, down to a best of 3 scenario now to see who gets the 2 points.
This leg, it's Jamie to throw first. Game on.
A peculiar match.
140.
And by that, I mean that both players could have won this 4-0. Whoever loses this contest is not going to feel very well. When you lose matches like this, all you can do is walk
57.
away and just say, ugh. Move on. Let's go to the next one. And for Jamie Clark, he plays Lee Cocks next in match 7. Warburton will play matches 8 and 10.
95.
And will bring our programme to a close. Jamie's all alone this evening. He's had his 2 Scottish pals with him in Group A this week, with Darren Beveridge and Greg Ritchie. He's all on his Todd this evening.
100.
But he's not doing a bad job so far. He's not lost a game yet. But he has definitely not won this one yet. Still plenty of work to do.
140.
That is very good work.
$100.
Decent work this time from the
Jamie
Welshman.
requires 64.
Stay there. Double 16.
Game shot on the 5th flag.
I think the
Jamie
facial
Clark.
expression of Jamie Clark told a bit of a story there, because the single 16, the second one, was just in. And it was the same story for the double. It was in the bottom left corner, and it was good enough to give him a 3-2 lead.
It's Mike to throw first. Game on. 100.
I mentioned about Mike Warburton's loss of a friend overnight. And speaking to him earlier, my advice to him was to play this evening with a little bit of inspiration and to try and use this as a way of forgetting about his grief for a little bit of time.
100.
Tonight hasn't gone to plan so far.
57.
I remember when our Week 2 champion Colin Osborne was playing in the World Grand Prix and he lost a relative in the middle of a match. He didn't know it, of course, until the end of the match, but
100.
it was one of the most somber practice rooms I've ever witnessed. It was a heartbreaking scene and one of the most sorrowful men in the City West in Saggart near Dublin that night was Mervyn King, who was the man who defeated Colin
60.
Osborne that night. When he found out Colin's news, he was unapproachable. I think what Mike is doing tonight is quite incredible because his close friend Ricky, who was lost yesterday,
41.
he's a good pal of Mike's, and it's been a very difficult 24 hours. And he's using darts tonight as a bit of an escape.
98.
It's possible he could
Mike
lose this
require
match 4-2.
160.
And that was the result against Paul Hogan in match 3.
60.
Somehow that
Jamie
third dart
require
did not find the
106.
target. And Clark has got his first match-winning opportunity here. And it is a double 16.
90.
So he's had a shot at double in every
require
single
100.
leg in this match.
Game
Warburton
shot, sick flag.
makes sure
Mike
that we go
Warburton.
all the way to leg 7. Could it be one of those matches where Jamie Clark has a shot at double in every leg and loses it? We'll find out in the next 2 minutes.
7th and final leg, it's Jamie to throw first. Game on.
They might not be the best averages, but it's been
54.
a fascinating game all the same. Their doubles percentages are identical. 3 hits from 14 attempts, 21.43%.
140.
And if Mike has had a strength this week, it has been winning last leg deciders.
59.
He has found some strength in leg 7 when he's needed it. That's one of the reasons why he got 18 points in that Group A.
60.
And Jamie, who threw first here, needs a treble.
60.
And by not getting one, he is now in trouble. Stay on the 57, I see it.
96.
I think he was trying to figure out there the best possible leave. And with the lie in the 57, I think staying down there was the right play.
99.
Jamie finally finds a big trouble, but the destiny of this match is no longer in his hands. One thing I like about that first dart is that it gets rid of the odd number. He had to hit it at some point. He might as well hit it now. The second dart made the visit better.
59.
And Jamie Clark has stuttered towards the finishing line in this match. And this may be the only leg in the match where he doesn't get a shot at double. Mike Warburton might only need one dart to win the match. And he does.
Shot out of the match.
What a
Mike
perplexing
Warburton.
contest from Mike Warburton, but ultimately, in leg 7 again, he shows his strength, his grit, his determination, and he gets his first 2 points of the night to equalise Jamie Clark's position. You can see that the averages were very similar. The checkered percentages were identical until that final shot at tops from Mike. But as we go into match 6, which sees the undefeated Paul Hogan, he will take on Fallon Sherrock, who got her first 2 points in her last match. We'll be right back after the break with that. Welcome back, and one half of our action this evening has been completed. So let's go into half number 2. And what better place to start than Crocodile Dundee, who is undefeated to this point, and he's looking to get a 3rd win of the night against Fallon Sherrock, who has just picked up her first victory in match number 4 about 20 minutes ago. But Paul Hogan so far tonight, very, very impressive.
Okay, first leg, it's Paul.
A running average of around about
game on.
high 93s. So watch out for that 16 dart range, which he has averaged over the course of the evening. And if he maintains that, he's going to force Fallon Sherrock into a best performance of the evening.
60.
She improved from her first match where she lost 4-1 to Jamie Clark to that 4-2 victory over Lee Cocks.
45.
In her average, she improved that by about 1.5 points. But to beat the Danger Man in this group, she may need to find something over 30 per dart.
140.
Which is something she is very capable of. These two are England teammates.
60.
Fallon has been representing the England ladies for quite a few years, even though she's only in her mid-20s. Paul's been representing England
60.
off and on for 25 years. He's the kind of dart player that should get his own chant.
97.
Hogan, Hogan. He plays when he wants. Paul Hogan. That's how it would go for me anyway. He doesn't bow to pressure.
59.
He doesn't do qualifying school. He's the ultimate amateur player. When he plays, he can beat most.
95.
He's been dangerous for a very long time. And I suppose the argument is he may be playing better over the last 5 years than he has at any point in his life.
100. Well, we require 145.
So he's a bit like a fine wine.
$60.
He's
Fallon,
not found his best
82.
leg in leg one here. And Fallon could take it in 17.
66.
2 chances have slipped
Well, we require
for
85.
her to break Hogan's throat in leg one. Big chance missed. Double 5.
75.
She gets a second bite
Fallon,
at the
you
cherry.
require 16. Game shot on the
She
first
takes
leg.
advantage of a slow
Fallon
start
Sherrock.
from Paul Hogan. He's had a little bit of a break since his last game, so he just has to work his way back into this one. Fallon has played more recently, and she's taken advantage of that. 1-0 to her.
Second leg, it's Fallon to throw first. Game on.
Fallon does, of course, have a twin sister
60.
called Felicia. She's a very handy dart player herself. Felicia played at the Women's Series back in October in Barnsley. A series that was a bit heartbreaking for Fallon.
54.
That series saw 2 qualifiers in an order of merit system for the World Darts Championship at Alexandra Palace in December.
41.
Lisa Ashton went through, as did Dieter Hedman, and beat Fallon on countback by only 2 mere
140.
legs. Imagine playing 4 tournaments of darts, having a good time of it, but losing out by 2 legs.
40.
Heartbreaking stuff. But nothing seems to be going right for Paul Hogan in this match. He hasn't found his range on the 60, and that is his second Robin Hood of the night. And Fallon seems to be exposing this slow start. He's starting to get frustrated.
44.
And he's going to have to arrest that pretty soon. Otherwise, the good front runner that Fallon is, she will not stop.
87.
Leaves double 10 after 15, and she has most definitely been the better scorer here. And it seems like someone has hit the snooze button for Paul Hogan. He's finally woken up. Well, if he can convert this 136,
16. Well, we require 130.
this will have come out of nowhere. There's one. Very, very nearly
100.
got another.
Fallon, you require 4.
Double 2. Got to go to the right. Now it's blocked. Through the posts or find an angle. She's going for the Parletti dart from the wall.
No score.
But it doesn't have enough pace on it.
Ball you require 36.
Double 9 for Paul Hogan.
Game on the
And
second.
somehow he has
Paul
won
Hogan.
that leg. I am not sure he knows how, but the fact of the matter is you can outscore your opponent all you want, but nobody is going to give you a free double. You've got to hit it. This game is now 1-1 when it should be 2-0.
Leg, it's Paul to throw first. Game on. $100.
One of Fallon's best qualities, though, is the ability to shake off a bad leg.
140.
If you're going to be a world-class dart player, and indeed a world-class sports person, you have to have a memory like a sieve.
60.
I see this from the likes of Dave Chisnell and the likes of Michael Van Gerwen and Johnny Clayton.
96.
Their ability to forget what's happened before and just move on. I'm not ashamed to say I'm very jealous of it, because that was one of my biggest weaknesses.
45.
I was constantly thinking about what went on before. Stay on the 19s.
95.
Leaves the 170. And for the third leg in a row, she has outscored Hogan in the first 9 darts.
100.
There's a nice pace about this game.
170.
She's throwing with purpose tonight.
58.
Get the feeling she's very close to form. As far as women's darts is concerned throughout the pandemic,
112.
it's been non-existent. No shot at double 16.
49.
So from 1-0 down,
Well, you require 96.
should have been 2-0 down. Very likely to be 2-1 up.
Game shot on the
And
third
is.
leg. Paul
That is a
Hogan.
marked improvement. And ever since that 180 in that second leg, Paul Hogan has turned into a very different player. I said somebody had hit the snooze button. He is very much awake now.
Fourth leg, it's Fallon to throw first. Game on.
You know that feeling when the alarm goes off first thing in the morning? You feel a little bit hazy.
59.
You're not quite awake yet. You think, I'll have 5 more minutes. Well, Hogan had 5 minutes. And then all of a sudden, the snooze button went off. And he is fully
180.
aware of the task at hand now. He's been a very, very different player in the last 2 legs.
96.
He was thinking about it after starting the leg with a maximum.
100.
He has hit 9 darters before. His most famous one is on YouTube in an England shirt.
139.
Fallon could not leave a finish no matter what she did there, but she has got herself back in the legs somewhat.
85.
Turns out to be a good 85. He was somewhat undecided what to do with that last dart.
60.
Oh, that one came out a bit late. The
136.
follow through was a bit jarred. Can he find another?
100.
Again, he leaves
Fallon,
that
you
double
require
18. He's a bit of a
147.
merchant in the northeast corner. Treble 17 for a shot at 36 herself.
95. All you
Is it
require
3-1 to
36.
Hogan? Double 9.
Game show on the
If
fourth
he's not
leg.
hitting double
Paul
18,
Hogan.
he is hitting its sister on the other side of the board. Well, it's 3-1. It could have been very, very different, but the way he has responded after being 1-0 down has to be respected.
It's Paul to throw first. Game on.
He is only one leg away from 6 perfect points this evening.
140.
The average earlier in the match was in the 60s. And it's just a mark of how he's played the last couple of legs that it's now at 82.
134.
When he has got to the double, he has been vastly better than Fallon. She's hit 1 shot from
26.
8, whereas Paul has hit 3 from 7 shots. And tonight he's been very, very consistent on the outer ring.
100.
67% in his first match, 40% in his second. And
130.
he could well be around about the half mark if he gets another shot in the next 6 darts or so.
97.
I say if, because Fallon has left the 170 again. It's been left a few times tonight. Someone's going to get a shot at that bullseye.
125. Fallon, you require 170.
Will Fallon this time? The answer is no, and this could be her last visit of the match.
96. But we require
It's not going to be 2 double tops. I guarantee you that. But it may be 1 tops. Is he going to be Paolo 1 tops?
Game shot.
Yes,
and
he
the
is.
match.
I'm
Paul
not
Hogan.
talking about a player from Costa Rica. I'm talking about the guy from Berkshire who has just found his way to a 4-1 win after being 1-0 down. And that is a very, very good 85 average considering the start he had in the match. And I said he might be 50% on his doubles at the end of the match. He was exactly that. So he has won 6 points out of 6. What will Jamie Clark and Lee Cocks do when they come after the break, win our next match? Welcome back. We have a dominant force in Group B, and his name is Paul Hogan. 3 matches won from 3 attempts. So he can't be caught by our next 2 players, Lee Cocks and Jamie Clark. But Jamie, if he wins here in his 3rd match, can get within 2 points and bolster his chances. You see the table right there. Lee has failed to win his first 2 games and is still in search of those 2 points. And if he gets them here, he will draw level with 3 other players to be a 4th
Game on
that mark of 2 points. But Hogan is dominating. And I suppose now that he has opened up that 4-point gap over Sherrock,
55.
Clark and Warburton, a good result here for him would be a Lee Cocks win. I'm sure it won't be that
59.
simple. But things have been shared around a little bit, aside from what Paul Hogan has done.
100.
He has 1 match left against Jamie Clark in match 9.
100.
But before Jamie tackles the table topper potentially, he's got to worry about this guy who hasn't played poorly tonight,
60.
but has been on the wrong end of some decent performances from the likes of Fallon Sherrock and Paul Hogan.
58.
This is his penultimate game as well, and he will take on Mike Warburton in game 10 once this one is completed.
60.
He is cutting a very frustrated figure. When you lose your first 2 games in a group format like this, you lose a little bit of self-belief.
100.
You're going to try and find something really, really deep to try and dig yourself out of this mess. The longer you go without a victory in this group,
100.
the more impossible the task of getting through it. 5 players and 3 progress to the finals.
60. Lee require 126.
Even though he hasn't scored that well in this leg, he still gets the first crack at a finish. That's the 26 taken care of.
86.
And that
Jamie require
3rd dart
124.
might be the best one he's thrown all leg. Bullseye.
82. Lee require 40.
And now Lee Cocks just gets that little bit of favour. This should be a good lie.
30.
Earlier in the night,
Jamie, you require
I think
42.
he would have hit that. But because he has missed a few doubles since his first game, I think the confidence has been sapped from him a little bit. And Jamie Clark can expose that even more if he hits this double 16.
26.
Oh, that missed by the finest of margins.
Lee
Just on the wrong side of the wire. Double 5.
Game shot
Gets
on
the
first
bumper in
leg.
this time.
Lee
You
Cocks.
can see from his body language that that double there was just relief and nothing else. Now that he has that first leg in the bank, he can take an inhalation and he can work from
Second
now
against
to see
Jamie
if he can get a
throw
second.
first. Game on. $60.
In coaching terms, one of the things that some dart players, when under stress, one thing they don't do enough is breathe.
180.
It's really important when you're in a one-on-one sport like this to take at least one deep breath
100.
every couple of throws. That's my philosophy. The more you don't breathe, the more tense your body becomes.
59.
Caught up with Lee a little bit earlier on this afternoon at the conclusion of the Group C action. He was having a bit of a catch-up with
40.
Adrian Gray and Conan Whitehead. Will he be joining those two in the
84.
finals. Well, we will be back with more online darts live league action from 9:30 British time.
81.
That's in a matter of 9.5 hours from now. We will see the likes of Conan Whitehead back at the Oki.
42.
He had a good performance today. The likes of Adrian
42.
Gray,
Now you require
Greg Ritchie and Paul
136.
Holloway have got work to do to try and get into the top 2 of that group. But this game so far belongs to Lee Cocks.
96.
Well positioned after 15 darts and very likely to take a 2-0 lead over the highly fancied Jamie Clark in this one.
138. Now you require 40.
Tops. Double 5 again.
Game shot on the second leg. Lee
He
Cocks.
just spreads his wings a little bit there in celebration. And a little bit more relief you feel because a third dart double 5 is never the plan. But it was good enough to take a 2-0 lead.
Third leg, it's Lee to throw first. Game on.
Just want to give a shout out right now to our referee Owen Binks, who has been
96.
refereeing all of our games this week. Very, very well indeed. And to our referee from last week, Charlie Korstefin. Great to see Charlie back in action.
100.
Just to give you an indication of what not just the referees, myself, the players and the backroom staff do,
85.
but everybody involved in this project. 105 matches a week, a best of 7. All for your entertainment, of course.
97.
And at the end of it, we will have 3 more players in Champions Week. He's in again. Looking much
180.
improved. A second 180 of this match. And he is taking this game by the scruff of the neck.
64. Lee require 140.
Every time I say that saying, I don't even know where the scruff of the neck is. I'll have to look it up.
35.
Well, that wasn't scruff of the neck darts, that was scruffy. And he would admit that, would Lee?
100.
He has
Lee
invited Jamie
require
Clark back into this
105.
leg. He should be in 2-dart range. There's the 5. And because he wasn't in 2-dart range,
41.
things
Jamie
just got a little
require
messy. And that last
140.
dart for me at 16s, was it the right play? I'm not sure it was. Because if he gets a single 20, he leaves 60, which is
60.
20 tops.
Lee
Now he
requires
needs a
64.
treble to get 2 darts at double. Only one shot at double 16.
48.
And he robbed himself of an extra chance.
Jamie require 80.
I'm not going to criticise him too much because I've done that in the past. You've got to learn from little errors like that, and he might pay for it.
Game shot on the third
There
leg.
you have it. Jamie
Jamie
Clark
Clark.
exposes the error from Lee Cocks. He should have had 2 shots at double top potentially to win that third leg. As it stands, he lost it, and he's now only 1 in front of Jamie Clark.
Fourth leg, it's Jamie to throw first. Game on.
Jamie just wiping his palms on his right leg there. Just a sign of a little bit of perspiration.
100.
Playing at this time in the UK
39.
is not the norm. Unless you have played, of course, in a Group B or a finals
96.
before in Phase 1. Well, Lee has. Jamie has not. So playing this late, or indeed this early because it's after 12,
140.
is a new experience for him.
58. $52.
Seems like Lee has taken his foot off the pedal just a little bit. He needs to find it once again. He is able to leave a finish.
Jamie require 107.
But this time he is relying on misses from Jamie Clark, who goes 17's first on 107. That's a bit different.
42. Lee require 170.
This would be a spectacle finish.
81.
Leaves himself on 89.
Jamie requires 65.
He'll be hoping that Jamie hits the bull again on 65. But unfortunately for him, he's got half of that, which leaves 2 darts at tops for a level game.
Game on the
and
fourth
Jamie
leg.
Clark has done very well in exposing Lee from the previous leg, taking advantage of the fact that he needed more than one shot to take the leg, and since then he has been the better player. We now have a level game at 2-2.
Game on.
When Lee did make the finals in week 3, he was in there with Mike Warburton, his opponent in match 10 tonight.
60.
He was joined by Ben Hazel, by Colin Osborne, who was already through to Champions Week, of course, in Phase 2.
40.
And the winner of Week 3 in Phase 1 was James Richardson, who failed to get through to Champions Week in Week 1. That is probably the biggest upset so far, alongside the fact
140
that Kevin Burness did not get through in Week 1 as well. That was an extraordinarily strong final on the Saturday,
40,
which was won by Martin Adams.
$140.
Jamie Clark is making his move. His average has gone up now to 81. Lee's average has plummeted.
60. Jamie require 161.
A minimum of 6 darts from here. In every likelihood, he's going to get 9.
41.
And he's going to need 9 by the looks of it.
$45.
Look at the heartbreak on the face of Lee.
Require 120.
What has gone wrong in the last couple of legs? And look at Jamie. It's almost a smile of, I've got you. I'm going to finish you off.
60.
I think sometimes Jamie Clark just forgets about the pressures of playing darts and just enjoys himself.
Jamie requires 60.
He doesn't look like someone who's under pressure.
Game shot
And
on
he's
the fifth
playing
leg.
like someone who isn't
Jamie
under
Clark.
pressure either, because from 2-0 down, he is now 3-2 up and is looking to get his 4th point and his 2nd win of the night. He's in position to do so.
Sixth flag, it's Jamie to throw first.
That's 60 checkout
Game on.
and the break of throw. Give him the opportunity to serve this out right here.
43.
After winning against Fallon Sherrock in his first match of the night,
96.
he then lost his winning streak against Mike Warburton.
60.
He let a 3-1 lead slip. If he'd have won that and won this, he would have been on a 12 match
140.
winning streak.
98.
Shoulda, woulda, couldas and all that, because the record is 13 consecutive wins.
100.
I don't think he cares about that now. He just wants to get the points here. Got to push this one really hard.
85.
Gave it too much shoulder, which means that it tends to curve to the left. And that slip from Lee just offers maybe one more opportunity to sneak in here for Jamie. Might go 15s here.
94.
Well, that proved to be a very good shot. Treble 18 this time for Lee. Top left corner of the 60 bed required.
84.
Or you can just get the top right corner.
What
a shot that was. But he's going to have to dodge a bullseye shot here for the match for Jamie Clark.
96.
Oh, fine shot. Just didn't find the target.
40.
Tops. Now tens.
Game shot.
Tens is there, and he's surviving in this game. It's been a very, very odd game for Lee, because he was definitely the better player in the first two legs. Then the next three went to his opponent. We are now going to a one-leg shootout.
7th and final leg, it's Lee to throw first. Game on. 100.
It will be Mike Warburton and Fallon Sherrock in the next match. That will be Fallon's last match of the evening. And the best she can do, as far as her tally is concerned, is 4 points.
45.
Which would give her a chance on Friday night. The urgent thing for Lee Cocks here is that if he does not win this leg,
95.
The best he can do tonight is 2 points. Win this leg, then have a chance against Mike Warburton in game 10.
95.
To walk away with 4 points after losing your first two games. That would turn a bad night into a decent night.
96.
The worst case scenario is that he walks away with none.
57.
For all results and short clips of highlights from the Online Darts Live League, please follow at Darts Live League, as you see in the bottom right corner of your screen.
99.
Social media channels on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. This is a very good visit.
140.
Almost the perfect visit.
You require 170.
He couldn't possibly hit a 170 to win this match, could he? He is not going to.
48.
And is Jamie Clark about to lose his second consecutive match by 4 legs to 3? Double 8.
48.
2 match darts have come and gone.
Jamie require 122.
So for another swing in this game. He was in command and has now got no chance of winning it at this visit.
42.
He's going to need to rely on Lee Cocks having a disaster here. Double 4.
8.
And 5 match darts are missed. Now Jamie hangs about
80.
with Greg Ritchie a lot, and he likes to go 2 double tops for this. I don't think that's Jamie's behaviour. He's going to guarantee... Oh, he's going to bust it! That's the 3rd time this week he's done that. Wow!
8.
That's why you don't risk that shot. And double 2. And he's just about got it done.
Lee Cocks.
Well, the end of that match was so dramatic. But as it stands, it is the second game in a row that Jamie Clark has lost. He had the better average, he had the better checkout percentage, but it means absolutely nothing because Lee Cocks walks away from that match with the 2 points. Fallon Sherrock will play her last match of the night against Mike Warburton. That's in match 8, and that's coming up after the break. Hello, good morning and welcome back to our action here at the Online Darts Live League. And considering the position of all of the players in this group, this could be a very vital match for Fallon Sherrock and her chances of getting through to the finals on Saturday. Against Mike Warburton, she has one more chance to snag some points. You can see from our table here that everybody has points now, but with Sherrock at the bottom now, and this being her last match of the night, Mike still has another one to come. You can see from his played column, he's only played 2.
Hey, first leg it's Fallon to throw first.
But if she doesn't get a win here, you feel that she may be at the bottom of the pile come the end of the night. So, last chance for points.
177.
Decent start, I'd say. Mike can still get 6 points for his efforts tonight
100.
if he beats Fallon and if he picks up a win against Lee Cocks in match 10. But let's say that Fallon wins this one.
60.
She would finish on 4 points for the night and definitely have a chance tomorrow. But 2 points and she would be playing a game of catch-up potentially against this guy.
100.
And definitely Paul Hogan, who plays next against Jamie Clark. And the way he's played tonight, he's been dispatching his opponents.
58.
Good stuff from Mike.
180.
Just a little bit better than good. And he has definitely responded well to that 177 start from Fallon.
60.
Can he finish off a 12 darter here?
21.
Is he about to hit a hot streak?
57. Fallon, you require 146.
She's going to go for the treble 20 route when in fact a lot more people these days fancy the treble 19s there because 6
40.
19s leaves 32. It condenses
Mike
the
requires
dartboard into
64.
1/4 of its size. Just makes the job a little bit easier. But that leaves double 8.
Game shot.
Double 4 is converted. He's been very, very good in that corner. Not just double 4, but double 18's been kind to him. But he will think that that second dart was a bit fortunate not to drop into the single 16 and bust the shot.
Second
but
leg,
it is
Mike
an early break of throw for him.
Game on.
You saw the graphic at the start of the match with Fallon at the bottom of the table.
140.
That is due to leg difference. She has the same leg difference as Lee Cocks currently.
100.
If she's going to lose this match, it's better if she loses it by a small margin. With 3 players coming through this group by the end of tomorrow,
59.
the people with the better leg difference have got a much better chance.
$43.
A lot of people ask me, why is Fallon Sherrock such a good player? Well, she's got excellent technique. She simplifies the mental aspect of the game. She doesn't
100.
dwell on things too often. Her technique has actually improved since she made her first and only Women's World Championship final.
121.
Her arm used to be a little bit further away from her face. Her set point used to be a little bit more outside the box. Whereas now it's a bit more compact. It's a much better technique.
100.
Her career is just beginning. She's only in her mid-20s. She could have another 25 to 40 years ahead of her. Just look at someone like Dieter Hedman.
140.
She's in her 60s.
Mike, you require 102.
Fallon could be playing past 2050. Is he going bullseye or 42? Correct. He went for the bigger segment.
35.
But that's a slip.
Fallon, you require 97.
That leaves 78.
Correct.
Confirmed by the referee. I think I got that
89.
one wrong. It was 76, not 78.
Mike requires 67.
That one's on me. This one's on Mike. Double 16 to double his lead.
Game show on the second
Very,
leg.
very tidy
Mike
on
Warburton.
the outer ring. And he's finding most of his doubles, apart from his previous match, of course, where he had a little bit of a nightmare to start with. but he managed to fix it by the end of the match. This one
Like
is
it's
going
Fallon
better.
to throw
2-0 up.
first. Game on. $58.
Even if Fallon does walk away with only 2 points tonight, there could be the likelihood, of course,
100.
in about 20 hours' time, where she could maybe win all of her games on Friday and register 10 points. That would be enough.
180.
And she's been getting a fair share of 180s tonight, that's for sure. She got 3 in her first game. She got another one against Lee Cocks. And that is her first against Warby. So 5 for the night. Averaging 86. That's very, very tidy.
99.
But the problem in this game for Fallon is the fact that she has not had a shot at a double yet. Mike has closed her out too soon.
$100. Fallon, you require 160.
She does have 6 darts from here. And she should be getting a shot at double in this position.
95.
It's not guaranteed yet. But players of this quality sitting on 69 should at least get 1 shot for the leg.
59. Fallon, you
Leaves
require
142
69.
instead of 141. Very, very wise decision. Double 16.
53.
And that first shot at double in this match misses
Mike,
by
you require
about a centimetre and a
142.
half. He's not going to get a shot at double from the 142.
125.
Well, he's left 17.
Fallon, you require
Slips into
60.
the next door neighbour of treble 10.
Game shot on the third
Fallon
leg.
is good.
Fallon
Finally finds her first double of this match. First out of 3 shots. So she is now 1-2 down. How will Warburton respond as we go into leg 4? Fallon still
Looks like it's
needing
Mike
this
to throw
victory, I feel.
first. Game on.
Her first match tomorrow, or indeed later today, in fact, will be against Mike Warburton.
140. $24.
A very, very rare show of emotion there from Fallon. She's usually stone-faced. I think she understands that that was quite a tired dart.
100.
Of the two, Warburton looks the slightly more energised to me.
$96.
Both players using the moulded flights, something that has become a lot more commonplace in the game over the last 3 or 4 years. It's a set of flights that when you buy them,
81.
they come as you see them. You don't have to take them out of a packet and fan them out. Some dart players are fans of flights
40.
that already have perfect right angles, and they come in packaging that protects that. It's something that Mike used to very good effect in getting to the last 4
140.
of the World Masters. The last time it was run. And of course was won by John O'Shea,
99.
who beat Scott Waits in the final. Now
Mike, you
Warby is
require
looking to get to 3-1. And he's currently got a leg difference of -1. So a big win here would definitely
Games
boost
on the 4th leg.
his chances
Mike
of making
Warburton.
it through this group. His doubling in this match has been very, very good indeed. And at 3-1, if he gets more shots at doubles, you feel this game is his.
5th leg, it's Fallon to throw first. Game on. $121.
First 2 darts were perfect. And the reaction to the dart that she threw after that tells the story.
100.
When a dart player gets tired, the technique can break down. The follow through can move either to the left or right.
100.
They can start to walk after that 3rd dart a little bit too early. And sometimes it's nice to have a reminder next to your dart case on the table just to tell you to stay in good technique, stay in good rhythm.
100.
As to what every dart player takes into every match,
140.
you'd have to ask them. Spare set of darts, spare set of flights, some spare stems, some grip dust or wax, a lucky charm maybe.
59. Fallon, you require 140.
Fallon's done really, really well in this leg. She's going to have to loft this one up. This is going to have to be around the wall.
60.
That's going to have to do. Never forget the look of Phil Taylor's dart case on the communal table when I used to play him. It was just an open case with 6 sets of flights
100.
and a sprinkling of chalk
Fallon, you
all over
require
it.
80.
Double 10. Double 5 now to stop Warby from having his first chance to win the match.
Game shot on the 5th
Very
leg.
well protected.
Fallon Sherrock.
And that could be a vital leg, not just for the case of this match, but every leg now is key to try and stay in the race for the top 3 in this 5-player
6th
group.
leg, it's Mike to throw first. Game on.
Other things that I've seen on the communal tables. Robert Thornton's little lucky teddy bear.
93.
He had a great view of our World Championship match a few years ago. Quite a few occasions my sunglasses used to sit on the table
180.
and get a pretty good view of the match as Fallon gets her second 180 of this game. She's now leading that statistic. I remember a couple of occasions,
97.
in fact 3 times, where my opponent stole my sunglasses and put them on for the entertainment of the crowd. Those players were Dave Chisnell in Gibraltar,
100.
Kevin Painter at the Grand Slam at the Civic Hall in Wolverhampton. That was particularly funny. I hated that because they looked better on him than me.
140.
And the other one was Wes Newton, my nemesis.
$57.
She leaves 164. It's a big ask, but at least it's possible. $150 left. Lots of choices here, but he's going to stay on the 60.
41. Fallon,
Does
you require
Fallon have this in her
164.
armoury? Her average has climbed to just under 90.
80.
Warburton's average is 97.9. This has been a
Mike
very good
Warburton,
performance from him.
130.
He's 60% on his doubles as well. And if he gets a shot at the bull, he might hit this. But it's double 5.
125.
That is the first match dart
Fallon, you
for
require
either player.
84.
Double 12.
72.
And 2 match savers have come by.
Mike, you require 5.
She might not get another shot. Double 2. He's been here tonight already. And it's been very, very kind to him.
Mike Warburton.
He's on 4 points. He has the availability of 1 more match as well against Lee Cocks in match 10. You see that Mike Warburton could finish the night on 6. He's got to 4 with one of the best performances of the night so far. But, of course, Paul Hogan, who is the top performer of the night, he's got a chance of getting to 8 points. And he might just do so after the break when he plays in Jamie Clark's last game of the night. Welcome back, and no time like the present to see if Crocodile Dundee, Paul Hogan, of the darting kind, can now have the perfect evening. Can he go into Friday night with 8 unanswered points? If he can find this win, he is guaranteed of the first position in the table going into day 2 of Group B.
Game on.
If he is defeated by Jamie Clark by a considerable margin, that will offer the chance to Mike Warburton in Game 10 against Lee Cocks of possibly snatching it away from him. But the way that Paul Hogan has played tonight and
100.
in the early hours of this morning. He has looked the most consistent of all players tonight.
59.
You have to admire the longevity of what he's done in his career. But more recently,
100.
it's just the likelihood that he is going to put good numbers in. An average of 92.84 in his first 4-1 win of the night.
100.
That doesn't tell the full story. He was playing much better than that until the very end.
100.
In his next match, he averaged a little bit better, 94.84, in beating Warby by 4 legs to 2.
84.
And an 85 average was good enough to beat Sherrock by 4 legs to 1. That's a decent setup as well. It's a nice recovery after that second dart flailed into the 5.
92. All you require
There's
is
a fast
76.
pace about this game. Another 20 for double 18. That's always been the plan.
58.
And tonight, when he's missed double 18,
require 106.
he has hit double 9. So be on your guard, Jamie.
$54.
Okay,
require
that would have
80.
been 72 for double 17.
Game shot on the first
But I
leg.
did warn you, Jamie,
Hogan.
do not leave Paul Hogan on either double 18 or double 9. He is just very, very good at the secondary option, and he took the secondary option for the first leg of the match.
Leg, it's Paul to throw first. Game on.
I'm still trying to wrap my head around that 18's first on 106.
140.
Why he went 18's first anyway, I'm not 100% certain.
93.
But if you score 4 18's for 72, that leaves double 17. And nobody wants to leave double 17 on purpose.
140.
Just to give you guys an indication of the conversation I had with Greg Ritchie a few hours ago. I saw him outside of the
190.
accommodation and congratulated him on his 3 double top shot from earlier, which I'm sure hundreds of people have congratulated him on earlier on social media.
105.
I set him a challenge to not just do the De Souza maybe again, but maybe
59.
to embellish on that a little bit
116.
by trying 3 double 19s or 3 double 18s. Now, if he did
44.
3 double 18s, that would be 108. So watch out for Greg Ritchie later today, leaving 108 for potentially a shot of 3 double 18s.
100. All you require 72.
Paul Hogan playing like he's got a bus to catch. Double top.
52.
And Jamie Clark needs 4 20s for
Jamie
bull.
require 100.
He won't be using the 18s on this route. Double 5. And he hits what Mike Warburton could not hit in the last match. He did convert the 5 that he left, but that is one of the best outshots that Jamie Clark has had all week long, and that arrests the dominance of Paul Hogan in this match so far.
Game on.
A little bit of gumption as well when he hit that shot. I don't mind that.
99.
That might spur Paul Hogan on again. But that was Jamie's first shot at a double in this match. And look at him in the
70.
background. He wants this. He does not want to leave this group tonight with less than 4
98.
points. He has 2 after beating Fallon Sherrock in his first match of the night, but he has lost a couple of matches since.
100.
He's lost them both by very, very tight margins. 4 legs to 3. on both counts.
57. 100.
The benefit of that flight constantly falling on the floor is that it's not in the way when it's in that 60 region. Even though there were 2 darts in the way there, it had no bearing on the score. Jamie Clark making his move
Jamie
from 1-0 down, seemingly inevitably going 2-0 down, and might be 2-1 up.
51.
Might still be 2-1 up, and should be 2-1 up from this position.
139. Jamie
He had to expect the Hogan was going to leave a double there.
Game shot on the third leg.
He was ready for it.
Jamie Clark.
And this fast-paced match, it continues into a 4th leg in a second. But Jamie Clark has now got some momentum of his own. I've got some momentum to get out of sentence. But let's go to the 4th leg.
Game on. $59. 96.
One of the things you might ask about the schedule for these players is that they start very late at 10 p.m. local time. What would they have done today? Well, in Paul Hogan's case, I think he was at work.
$125.
As far as Jamie's concerned, he probably programmed a little bit of a nap this afternoon just to conserve some energy for tonight. That's what a lot of professionals do. They program their sleep to make sure that they have the maximum rest going into a late night challenge. That's something that Mark Webster taught me a lot earlier in my career. But then again, I've never met a dart player that likes to sleep more than him.
$85.
That shoulder on the right side has been coming into his throw a little bit more over the last couple of days. A second treble there for Paul would have left double 11.
90.
He's now hoping that Jamie Clark does not find this 95, because if he does, he's going to make Paul Hogan the underdog. Double 19 again.
57.
Somewhat Greg Ritchie type behaviour there. Just gets the 20. Gets the double 16.
Paul Hogan.
And this one is going backwards and forwards like a Newton's cradle. This is a very, very good game. And Paul Hogan is now back in with a chance of getting all 8 points tonight.
5th leg, it's Jamie to throw first. Game on.
Yes, that route for 95, in my opinion, is not used enough.
60.
I'm a big fan of condensing the dartboard into smaller portions. If you don't get the treble 19 on the 95, go for 2 double 19s.
100.
You don't have to change your body position. You don't have to change your eye line. You can stay in the same region of the board.
96.
It's the same for 133. If you get the treble 19, go 2 double 19s. It's a much easier shot than treble 20, treble 19, double 8.
100.
I applaud Jamie Clark for going that route. It didn't work out, but it was a very, very good try. Yet again, Hogan is averaging around 94.
60.
That's where he's been most of the evening.
98.
Paul Hogan did make the finals
81.
of week 2 in phase 1. But nothing went his way that night. He finished in 5th position, behind Barry Bates, behind Adrian Gray, Robert
94.
Thornton, and eventual champion Chaz Barstow. Can he get to 60 points? No, he can't.
Jamie require 110.
So Clark for the lead. He went for the blocked bed.
58.
Just when I'm singing
We
his
require
praises about
100.
finishing fluency, he chooses the wrong option. Now, 2 options. Treble 19 for double. The other one, of course, was 45 bull.
84. Jamie require 52.
This is a big possible swing moment. Who's going to take the lead? There is your answer. Jamie Clark finds a very tidy double 16 to take the lead at 3-2. And at the very least, he is going to lose a 3rd match, 4 legs to 3 tonight. But he is 1 leg away from getting a 2nd victory.
First. Game on.
Could he do everybody a favour?
85.
Now, with 6 points in the bank already, we know that Paul Hogan will contend tomorrow night. Or indeed tonight.
100.
But it is good news for the chasing pack if he's pegged back to 6 points instead of taking the perfect 8.
60.
It would also be very good for Jamie.
100.
I think if you pick up 4 points this evening and 4 points later on, that might be enough to get you in the top 3.
135.
And then Jamie will have to wait to see if his 2 pals come through in Group C a little bit later this morning.
131.
That would be some achievement for all 3 Scottish lads to get through to the finals. It's very much a possibility. But those other 2 Scottish boys
81.
will have to overhaul Conan Whitehead first.
170.
This is for the match. Another. That was a very well thrown shot.
105.
And he's forcing Hogan to take this. Things are getting desperate if he wants to finish with 8 points.
60. Jamie requires 65.
Decides not to go 25 this time. Double 16.
Game
He goes back
shot
to a
out of the
familiar
match.
double.
Jamie
Well,
Clark.
that was a quizzical end to that one. He's defeated Paul Hogan, and that is his first loss of the night. But he decided to go back to double 16 because it helped him a little bit earlier. It's helped him to 4 points. You can see his average wasn't as good, but that didn't mean a thing. He goes into later with 4, and Hogan goes in with 6 to night 2 of Group B. We're going to take a short break now, and when we return, it will be Lee Cocks and Mike Warburton finishing their campaign, so don't go anywhere. with Group B here at the Online Darts Live League. I am Paul the Asset Nicholson, bringing you all of this action in the early hours here in the UK. So one more match before we go into the later action in Group C in about 8.5 hours' time. But Mike Warburton and Lee Cocks have had differing evenings. You can see that Warburton is in a very strong position, currently in one of the positions for the finals. To bolster that, a win here against Lee Cocks.
Hey, first leg, it's Mike
And
to
he
throw
will create
first.
a very useful 4-point buffer between himself and his opponent in this game. I think it is very fair to say that Mike has not played his best darts tonight. But at times, he has been lethal on the doubles. In his previous game with Fallon Sherrock, he averaged a night's best of 94.9. And that is actually the second best winning average of the entire day. The only other one that was better was Conan Whitehead against Dave Parletti in match 4 this morning, where Conan averaged 96.62.
85.
But the 57% on doubles in that match, that's what impressed me. Because Fallon was playing some very decent darts in that match. She was putting Mike
60.
Under pressure. But to Lee's credit, he lost his first couple of games.
81.
And he was struggling at times against Jamie Clark, but he found just enough to beat Jamie. And if he can win this
60.
match, it will be Hogan at the top on 6, Lee Cocks, Jamie Clark, and Mike Warburton on 4,
140.
with Sherrock at the bottom on 2. And with 10 matches tonight, 4 for each player, you have to say, this group
100.
is wide open.
Lee require 95.
2 double 19s. The Jamie Clark way, or is it another way? The traditional route.
55.
Could have gone double 18 tops. So many options.
Mike require 81.
He's not going to go double-double. Treble for double. I think he just had a moment there where he knew he needed treble 18, but wasn't comfortable going for double 12.
69.
Until he confirmed with our referee what he had left.
40.
If you aren't sure, always check. Lee knows what he needs.
Game shot.
And Lee finds a lovely shot at double 10. That little stride to the left, just to open up that bed. He's done a very good job to break Mike's throw in the very first leg of the match.
Second leg, it's Lee to throw first. Game on. $100.
The interesting thing about the way the 2-night group goes is that the last game of Thursday night is the first game of Friday. So they will play back-to-back games.
59.
Just imagine if Lee Cocks can beat Warby twice. If he does, he would get to 6 points
93.
before Mike does. And he would put himself in a strong position. That is what he should be aiming for now. To do the double over Mike today.
100.
In the same 24-hour spread. If indeed players can't be separated by points or leg difference.
44.
Or indeed by legs won. We would look at head-to-head record. We could even look at averages
41.
if it's one game all in Group B. There are so many variables in this short group format. It's very reminiscent of the Grand Slam, just a little bit longer.
41.
Lee has played a lot of nighttime sessions this
100.
year at the Online Darts Live League. And I think maybe he's a bit more versed in the evening sessions, because a lot of the darts that Mike has played
99.
predominantly have been
They
during the
require
day.
101.
Double 16 to double his lead.
Game show on the
That
second
is exactly
leg.
what he does.
Lee Cocks.
Even when he finds a ton plus finish, he seems to be almost unhappy. And maybe it's just frustration from earlier in the night, but there's nothing to sulk about, Lee. You're
Third leg,
2-0
it's
up.
Mike to throw first. Game on.
A nice consolidation of that first leg break. And this week,
84.
Mike has been doing things the hard way. He's been in the mix in Group A the entire time.
180.
But the way that Lee has started this match, it's looking like Mike might have to go through the hard route to the finals.
100.
It might not be the dominant way through Group B, but he would still have the chance of making the top three with his opponent and with others.
125.
It promises to be a really, really fascinating Friday night that you should not miss. Again, we will be live on Sporty Stuff TV from 10 p.m. here in the UK
140.
and via the Online Darts YouTube channel worldwide. Get your questions in via social media.
100.
I will be available at the Asset 180 on Twitter throughout the course of Friday. And you see at Darts Live League in the bottom right of
100.
your screen. That is where you find all the
Lee
results,
96.
the league tables, and of course how this league works. The possibility of an 11 darter is gone,
76.
but he almost took a 12,
Mike requires 77.
which would have given him a 3-0 lead. This is where Mike has been really good this week. He has been able to cling on in these sorts of situations.
Game
And he's
show
done
on
it
the third
again.
leg.
He's the
Mike
ultimate
Warburton.
survivor when it comes to these kinds of matches. He could easily be 3-0 down, but instead of being 3 adrift, he's only 1 adrift and has every chance of still winning this one.
Fourth leg, it's Lee to throw first. Game on.
That was a quality leg of darts there from Mike. A
60.
15 darter. But Lee had 1 shot for a 12 for a double break. And he could now be throwing to serve it out. But as it stands, he still needs 2 more.
59.
He is definitely playing improved stuff, though.
85.
An average in this match of just over 90. A couple of clicks better than Warburton. Can't believe it's taken me this long to
140.
reference that famous bread advert tonight, where George Clooney calls Mike's surname Warburton.
45.
Why does everything that George Clooney sound better than anything I could possibly say? Well, some accents are just better than others.
100.
These guys have got very definitive accents. North Wales for Mike, from the beautiful town of Wrexham, where Another Hollywood superstar is very famous.
171.
Ryan Reynolds, who owns the local football team in Wrexham. Well, Lee Cocks owned that visit with a 171. And back comes Warburton,
180.
the ultimate survivor. I didn't say it for nothing. Just when you think Lee Cocks is strolling towards a 3-1 and indeed 3-0, Warburton finds
22.
something. The ability to dig deep. It's quite incredible with this guy.
11.
But he couldn't find that. It was his choice to leave double 11.
He required 98.
He didn't have to. Treble 18 for double 12, and it's possible.
86.
He could have won this match already. He's had shots at double in the last 2 legs. Double 4. Oh,
No
he's bust
score.
it. Well, a miss is a miss.
Lee required 12.
And it doesn't matter that he bust the shot. It's just the fact that he missed the double. Because Lee Cocks is in a double 6 and is now 3-1 ahead. He's been threatening the entire game. Like I said, he's had a shot at double in every leg in this match. He could have won at 4-0, but he's still in a commanding position.
Fifth leg, it's Mike to throw first. Game on. $100.
Called Warburton the ultimate survivor. Well, if he gets out of this little jam, I'm going to start calling him Bear Grylls Warburton.
41.
We should never underestimate what a Welsh dart player can do in 2021. That old adage, never underestimate a ferret.
45.
That used to be a joke. It has now become a bit of a phrase related to South Walian Johnny Clayton.
$140.
Really interested to see what Gerwyn Price does next week when he returns to action for the first time in 3 months. The world number 1, who has been starved
100.
of competitive action, I'm sure is ready to breathe his own breed of dragon fire next week. You never know.
60.
There might be somebody Welsh playing here next week. As to who it is, you will have to find out tomorrow night, as in Saturday night.
100. Mike, you require 160.
6 darts from here. To take this game a little deeper. This would be his biggest finish.
120.
And I don't just mean this week. I mean this year in this tournament.
90.
Nice approach from Lee to leave 125, but you fancy this is leg over.
Game's on the fifth leg.
And
Mike
you'd be
Warburton.
right as well. 1 down and 2 to go. And he has got out of a jam like this a little bit earlier in the week. Can he do it again? He has to dig really deep for this one.
Sixth leg, it's Lee to throw first. Game on.
First job, break Lee's throw. And then he would have the honour
100.
in leg 7. The averages are very close. Lee on 86. Warby on 87.
60.
The major difference between the two of them is the accuracy on doubles. Lee has hit 3 from 7 shots. Warby 2 from 9.
85.
For that sole reason, that's why Lee's in front. We can overcomplicate this game sometimes, but just to re-simplify it,
80.
Lee's hit more doubles. That's the name of the game. And we have seen tonight, on a couple of occasions, from
100.
people like Fallon Sherrock, twice she's performed better in the 180 counter and lost a match, proving Bobby George right. 180s for sure, doubles for door.
28.
A phrase that will live forever. As will Bobby, I hope.
$60.
Look at that face from Warburton. He's not going to give up. He knows that a 180 leaves him on a finish.
100.
But if he gets one more error from Lee Cocks here,
156.
he could still take us to a 7th leg.
60.
I wouldn't really classify that as an error in that spot. It was just less than what Lee really wanted.
99.
That's not bad, but I personally
Lee
would have gone for the 25 on the last dot to leave 128. Double 18. Job done from Lee Cocks. A really good comeback from Lee Cocks. He gets a bit of respect from Warby at the end, but he loses his first 2 matches, then he wins the next 2. He finishes on 4 points, so does Warby. This group is finely balanced going into later on tonight. We'll be back on Sporty Stuff TV from 10. We are back in about 8 or 9 hours from now, because Group C will conclude at 9:30 a.m. Thanks for joining us tonight. We will see you in a few hours' time. Paul the Asset Nicholson signing out for now.